What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV. The morning after the night before. You know what? I'm full, man. We had a lot of nice chicken yesterday. They got nicely seasoned, and I thought that was the perfect intro. And the perfect special guest for the Monday, Mr. Brook the Neck himself, Mr. Kevin Campbell in the building. Bop, 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 bop.
Curtis, I'm starving, man. I'm still hungry. I am starving. All the chicken finished yesterday, but I want more. And I love the Nandos lick.
I'm telling you, man, I had to do it, man. Yo, how you feeling, Kev? Yo, I'm telling you, man, I came into this Monday feeling good, man. I'm telling you.
I feel, listen, it was a special day for us yesterday, Curtis. We've been through a lot, Curtis. We have been through a lot, and we've been back and forth in and dissecting our football club and dissecting the players, and we're not sure if it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And it all came together yesterday, Curtis. It was really welcome. And do you know what? I'm so proud, man. I was proud of the team yesterday. There ain't many times we could say we're proud of them, but they made us proud yesterday.
Do you know what? A lot of times you've been on here, me and you, we've been debating back and forth. But today we can actually just be proud of the performance, the club. You know what I'm saying? I had to make this little green screen, man. Thierry and Auba in the background.
Wicked,
it was crazy, bro.
Wicked. And you know, that celebration was fitting, Curtis.
Yeah.
For that goal, that move, you know, the way the boys played, especially in the first half, was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. As I said, it's the players, Curtis. It's the players. I keep telling people. I keep telling people, but they don't believe me. It's the players, man.
Do you know what? When I put the show out, someone messaged me and they said, boy, you know the swagger what Kevin's coming in this show with today after Arteta.
You know, listen, I had to drop the Nike. You know what I mean? I had to drop the darkness.
Yeah.
Curtis, but I'm happy for all Gooners.
Let's
be honest, I'm happy for all Gooners because you know what? When you look at their team on paper, Curtis, they're a good side. They're a good side.
They are.
We just didn't let them play.
Do you know what? It was interesting. I'm going to do the player rating shortly, but when I saw the team selection yesterday, I have to admit, and me and you were speaking, and we said, "Bro, man, Xhaka's starting. I can't believe it." And then even seeing Smith Rowe on the left, I know he did that last year against Tottenham, but that was a different right back. I think it was Doherty. I'm thinking Pepe's been dropped. Lokonga's not playing. Tottenham were pretty much at full strength. I was a little bit apprehensive.
Yeah, it's normal, Curtis. It's normal. You see us make changes, and Smith Rowe being on the left, we're not sure. You know, there's still debate, wasn't there, whether Smith Rowe and Odegaard could operate properly in the same team.
Yeah.
We weren't sure. New signings coming in, obviously playing against Spurs for the first time. We're going into the unknown, Curtis. That's the other thing. We're going into the unknown for Arsenal. But boy, Curtis, did the boys turn up or what, man? They turned up yesterday. Wow.
I'm telling you now, that for me is probably the most enjoyable Arsenal game since probably the FA Cup final 2 seasons ago.
Well, do you know what? I was saying on the Highbury squad that I'm noticing the team spirit from Norwich to Burnley, from Burnley to Wimbledon, and now I'm seeing the team spirit. You saw what it meant to the players.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Curtis, that's all we want as fans. We want it to really matter to the team. Because anybody can lose. But what we were seeing before, that wasn't Arsenal. Now, we're starting to see some traits of Arsenal now. You know what I mean? That energy, that toughness. Do you know who epitomizes who we are? Gabriel and Tomiyasu at the back. They epitomize who we are. Gabriel, since he's been back, have you noticed? He's a lot calmer.
Beast. Yeah,
he's a lot calmer. He's a lot better. Tomiyasu has fitted in like he's been there for years. And we've been saying it right back. And look what happens when we get a right back who can do his job.
It's proper. Do you know what? I just wanted to briefly ask you, before we get into Arsenal, I know they're not our problem, but What did you make of Tottenham? Because to me, they look a little bit in disarray right now. They look like they're not really, the fan base there don't seem to like the manager. Kane looks like his head's gone. Well, what did you make of them?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, Curtis, you couldn't shut them up.
I know. I thought they'd
They were
won the
top
league.
of the league. They were going to win they won the league a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So, listen, I ain't too worried about them.
Yeah.
For me, I honestly, truly think that they thought they will turn up and it will click. But it doesn't work like that. You have to go out there and you have to compete. In the last 15 minutes, they're going to get a bit of the game, Curtis. This is professional football. They're going to get a bit of the game. But Daniel Levy, the Kane situation is doing that club no favours, I'm telling you.
You think they should have cashed out and rebuilt?
It's doing them no favours because whatever Harry Kane does is not going to be good enough anymore. You know, whatever he does, he tracked all the way back into the box. He didn't need to do that.
Loved it.
Do you know what I mean? He tracked all the way back into the box, and that tackle just made the ball break for Saka for the third. Again, he can't do no else, but we put them under pressure. They thought they could turn up. They're going to put us under pressure. We are the team who put them under pressure, and they couldn't handle the 12th man as well. Curtis,
In fact, the stadium was roaring yesterday.
Wow, what incredible! And do you know what, Curtis? It was great to see Spurs fans walking out in the first half. We're used to that sometimes. We don't
Inject
want that
it,
anymore.
man. I need more of it.
Brilliant.
Do you know what? Before we get into his player ratings, I just want to quickly speak to you about because we're at Strikers Union here. And that man Auba yesterday, not just the goal, but the performance. The man's winning headers. He's closing down fullbacks and blocking passes.
And he's doing full centre half, goalkeeper, fullback.
Yeah. What a performance.
I said on the hybrid squad post game. Unfortunately, I couldn't get onto yours. Curtis. That shows you Auba can do it. It shows you Auba can do it, but he needs support. And with the right support, I thought Thomas Partey was just sensational in the centre of the pitch.
The general.
Yeah, he is sensational player. And I thought Granit Xhaka had a decent game, as well. Especially for that second goal, the way he turned Højbjerg and set us playing. Everything kind of came together yesterday for us. And we demanded more, and we got a little more yesterday. To the point where after the first half, it was over.
The funny thing is, Kevin, and you know yourself in football, winning big games, it creates expectation then, don't it? And we were saying after the game, Fran and Laurie came on, and we were saying sometimes North London derby, you don't need no motivation for that game. Sometimes it is the Brighton away where it's not as big an occasion where you see how good a team is. Can they keep producing? So I'm so interested to see how well they perform next week.
Well, this is the thing, you see, Curtis. Whereas if it was last season, the boys will be preparing for a Europa League game this week.
Yeah.
Now, they could have had the day off today. They can come in tomorrow and they could start game planning already for Brighton. Brighton have to play tonight. So you get a jump on the opposition. And listen, this is all part of being professional, as you know. The key is Spurs has gone. You enjoy it at the time and you put it behind you and you move on. What's next? You always look forward to what's next. And what's next is a very difficult game against Brighton because, do you know what, Curtis? Brighton could be top of the league when we play them.
Yeah, if they win tonight,
If they win tonight, against a derby against Palace. So
Palace.
Yeah.
So we quickly skim through the ratings. I did watch you on Hybrid Squad yesterday. It was great to watch again, man. I was watching everything. I even watched Match of the Day, just to be honest, mostly just to see Jermaine Gina squealing,
He weren't happy, was he?
He weren't happy at all.
Ledley weren't happy and Jermaine weren't happy, man. Oh, my. It's the contrast on Sky was so ironic. Yeah, Tony Adams
Oh,
there with a big smile on his face, and Ledley was like, "Oh my God, I don't want to be here." And Jermaine Genius was like, "I don't really want to be doing this."
he didn't
But
want to be there.
no,
Don't you think though, Kev? You work in the media, and you know when Arsenal lose, the world's falling apart. Jamie Carragher's calling us a disgrace. Gary Neville, they've lost their way. When Tottenham lose, they didn't play well today. But why is the energy different for Arsenal?
yeah, the energy is different because they don't like us. It's that simple.
Yeah.
They don't like us, and it's easy to try and cover things over when you don't mind the team.
Yeah.
But when you dislike the team, then you could go for the jugular straight away. First 3 games, we were poor, we were all over the place, etc. But we were condemned to death
Yeah,
in the media. And, I came out calling the media, listen, I hope they have the same energy if we win that game. We win, and it's 3 games on the spin now. Now we're above them. Let's see what they've got to say. And you know what? They're being sympathetic to Spurs. We don't need them. We don't need them, Curtis. We get on with it ourselves.
That's it, man. Let's start with the keeper. I mean, someone put in the chat, they said, Curtis, you owe him an apology. And I say this all the time, Kev. I say, whether it's a signing, whether it's the manager, I do not mind being proved wrong. I will happily eat humble pie and hold my hands up. He has started fantastic so far, hasn't he, since he's come in?
Yeah, he has. Curtis, you know what I think is one of the great traits that he has that we've lacked? And I'm not saying that Leno's a bad goalkeeper, because I think Leno is a good goalkeeper. But it's that command of his area and the voice he's got and the way he controls the back four. I think that's very, very important. And he makes a difference there.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, Curtis, that save from the deflection was world class. That is a world class save in anyone's language. And to get the wrong hand on it and tip it onto the bar, absolutely brilliant. I'm going to give Ramsdale an 8. I thought he was absolutely brilliant yesterday. Conceded 1, got a hand to it, couldn't keep it out, which, hey, listen.
Should he save it?
Things. No, I think it was a bit too close to him and too quick. But he nearly kept it out, Curtis. And if he'd have kept that one out, wow. That would have been great. But 3 games, 3 league games, not 1 goal conceded. I'm sure we'd take that. Definitely take that.
When he made that save and he got up, and I think he was bumping chest with Tomiyasu, I swear down, I had a feeling in me like you want to rip your shirt. I said, yo, these man care.
I could work with these men. That's what you're thinking. Because it's been a while since you can connect to the team, Curtis.
That's it. That is it, Kev.
That connection of fan to team. And we saw it yesterday. We saw the 12th man in the stand really connect with the team yesterday. And it made a massive difference. And listen, we're going to get onto Tommy Gunn, man. We're going to get onto Tommy. Because, do you know what? I'm telling you, these guys, man. These guys are making us proud. I know we're not the finished article, Curtis, and we're not going overboard. Yeah. That's one thing. We're not going overboard. But what we're going to do, we're going to enjoy this win against our rivals. That's what we're going to do.
I'd agree. I'll probably give Ramsdale an 8 as well. But the save was outstanding. But yeah,
he might get a half. He might get a little half for the save.
Yeah, he might need a little nudge up.
We'll give him 8.5.
I don't usually do halves, but since Kev's on here, we'll do halves. We've got 8.5.
I'm going to give him a little something. Yeah, on
give
top.
Him a little something, man. Let's go to. They're calling. Well, they were yesterday. We were calling Ramsdale Gianluigi Goatsdale. We're now calling this guy Tommy Cafu at right back.
Tommy Cafu. Listen, he's got the chant. Super Tomiyasu, right? He's got the chart now, which is great. Do you know what, Curtis? We have missed a right back who can defend for such a long time. Fair enough, he may not be a Bellerin at his prime going forward, but we suffered by not having a right back who can actually defend. Yeah. And he epitomizes, like I said, him and Gabriel really, that tough, aggressive nature where we don't even really need to worry too much about Kieran Tierney now
No,
being the one person who shows it, because you got
two of them.
3 of the back 4 who epitomizes that toughness. And I thought Tomiyasu, Son had to move. He had to move away from him to get any change. He really did. Tomiyasu, he was quality yesterday. I give Tomiyasu 8.5. And you know why I give him 8.5, Curtis? Anything that came off Ramsdale, Tomiyasu was virtually there to clean it up, to get it out. So, listen, I'll give him an 8.5. I know you don't really do 8.5s, but I'm on.
No, we can do it.
You're doing I'm giving him a little something extra.
Little something more.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what, Kev? Everyone had been hyping him up before this game, and I kind of held back with the praise because I looked at it like Norwich and Burnley, their wingers aren't great. Let's wait till he plays against Son or Mane or Sterling. Yeah. So that was a big test yesterday. And I thought he kept him quiet. I know he scored, but he moved away from him to score that goal.
Had to. He was on the grip, the Tomiyasu grip. He was in it. He couldn't get away.
Yeah.
And then he had to move it inside, and he got a little goal. But fair enough. Hey, Omar, don't worry about my little halves. I'm going to give him a little something. I'll give him a little tip. This is a little tip.
It's a little tip, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'd agree with that 8.5 as well. I think he was... Arsenal gave him man of the match on their website, but to me, we'll go through the team anyway. But yeah, I'll give him the 8.5. Thought he was brilliant. What about Tierney?
Do you know what? I thought Tierney had a decent game.
Yeah.
I actually thought Kieran Tierney, this was his best game of the season.
Yeah,
I would agree. Because you know what, Curtis? Kieran Tierney doesn't have to be too swashbuckling.
No.
When the team are set up and doing the business. What he needs to do, just sit beside Gabriel, and when the opportunity arises, he can get up that left wing.
Yeah.
Because you know what? When he goes, you feel a lot more comfortable that Gabriel's there.
Yeah.
To clean anything up.
Clean it.
You know, so I thought Kieran Tierney done well. I'm going to give Kieran Tierney an 8. I thought he got forward pretty well in the first half.
Yeah.
But he defended well. All of that back 4 defended really well. They got 1 goal, but we were never really in trouble, were we? Let's be honest.
No.
So that back 5 were awesome. So I'm going to give Kieran Tierney an 8.
I'll give him an 8 because for me, played against Lucas Moura. Moura did absolutely nothing. And that Aubameyang goal, he whips that ball into Aubameyang's feet, which, as a striker, you want that ball whipped into you, and he just flicks it around the corner.
The right spot, right pace.
Beautiful. I give him an 8, man. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
Let's go into the midfield. This is going to be interesting because...
Midfield? What about the centre-halves?
Bloody hell, I've skipped the centre-half. Sorry, I forgot about them. They've got Harry Kane in the pocket.
You want to get to the glory boys, don't you? You want to
get to the
glory boys.
Do you know what? I want to start with Ben White, right? Because I feel like he's not being spoken about by many people, but he quietly handled his business yesterday, Ben White.
Curtis, thank you. And was it the first goal or third goal where the ball comes into Harry Kane and he beats Harry Kane in the air, nods it down, and then we go at the other end. I think it was the first or the third goal. Ben White had a good game. Temi, I give him an 8 as well. I thought he was good on the ball. I thought that partnership with Gabriel, you're starting to see them kind of come together.
Yeah.
And Ben White isn't an aggressive player, but do you know what he does? He's a reader. He'll get his foot to it. He'll get a stud to it. And then the midfield party can pick it up, and then we could start playing from there. I like what he done. And this was our biggest test up to date since we've got that back 5 in.
Yeah.
And they came for it with flying colours. I'll give Ben White an 8. Good game.
I'll go for an 8. I'll go for an 8. I think... You look at them defences through the years, usually you have the aggressor and then maybe the ball player. I just think the balance between them two looks very good. I think we're building something there.
Yeah, listen. Ben White on the ball, he is quality. But there were question marks about his actual defensive abilities in a back 4.
Yeah.
He can defend.
That was his best game for Arsenal yesterday, I felt. This guy,
Monster.
wow. People
Monster.
saying that we got the prices wrong at Lille, that Pepe should have been 25 million, Gabriel should have been 70 million. This, for me, Kev, I think he's going to be one of the best centre-backs that Arsenal have had for a long, long time.
Yeah, Curtis, I you know what? I'm starting to see him being the leader back there.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I didn't realize how vocal he was.
Yeah.
He's vocal. You know, he pats people on the back when they do well. He has a go at people just like Ramsdale. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And you know what, Curtis? Harry Kane didn't want it with him.
Weren't interested, was he?
He didn't want it at all. Didn't want it. Harry Kane tried to go on to Ben White, and Ben White dealt with him.
Yeah.
So Gabriel, for me, just by sheer presence alone, and you know what? He's better on the ball than people give him credit as well.
He is.
I give Gabriel a 9. I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
He's a colossus, mate.
Yeah.
I agree with a 9 as well, by the way. Kempy said, big up, boys. I've had my jerseys packed up in a box for months, but today I'm wearing one all day. Finally, something to be proud of.
Yes, Kempy.
Yeah, man. Get the shirts out, yes? Oh,
Enjoy it,
day.
man. Enjoy it.
Have to. Right, now we can move on to the midfield. Yeah. I mean, let's start with Granit Xhaka because, I mean, they're saying he's having a scan today. And Arteta said in the press conference it looks quite bad. But what did you think of his performance?
I thought Granit Xhaka had a decent game, to be honest, Curtis. I questioned his inclusion before the game, and I didn't like the fact that he came from nowhere and just came back into the side where Lokonga and even Maitland-Niles had been battling to try and get some minutes and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the manager went with experience, Curtis. And, it is a game where experience can tell. And it did tell in the end because Granit Xhaka made a difference, especially with the second goal.
With the turn,
He still does some crazy things at times, giving silly free kicks away. Yeah. But I thought he had a decent enough game until he come off. I'm going to give Xhaka 7.5. I'm not going to give him an 8.
No.
I'm going to give him a 7.5 because he didn't complete the game. But obviously, it's no fault of his own. I hope it's not a bad injury because I still think, if the manager wants to play him and on the manager's head be it, Curtis. Because if that would have went pear-shaped, you could imagine what would have been going on.
The debate we'd be having right now, innit?
Exactly. And we probably would be agreeing on it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, But fair play to him. He got in there. He done his job, which is sometimes all we want. And our midfield was better than their midfield. That's the key.
Yeah. I'd probably give him. Do you know what? I would have probably give him a 7 because I still think he put some clumsy challenges in. I think he was lucky not to get booked, but he was a lot better on the ball. He was disciplined. Do you know what? For the turn, I'll give him 7.5 because that's one of them positions where usually he loses the ball and they'll probably go and score from it. But he managed to turn, so I'll let him off with a 7.5. We'll give him.
And do you know what else, Curtis? He's had his best games when he's played beside the general.
The big man, yeah.
His best games have come when he plays with him.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about him because... if this game was probably like a 1-0 victory, right? We wouldn't be as talking about the attacking players.
Yeah.
He would possibly be man of the match for me. Because I looked at their midfield yesterday. I thought Højbjerg, Dele Alli and Ndombele, that's a tough game.
Yeah.
And not one of them did anything yesterday.
Yeah.
Not one of them.
When you see class, and quality on the ball, off the ball, positioning, he's got this thing where he gets the ball and you think he's lost it, and then he just turns and he's passing forward. And Curtis, I was giving him 8.5 at one stage. And then when I saw that pass in the first half to Aubameyang,
oh my God.
It's a 9 all day long. It's a 9 all day long. If Aubameyang could have brought that down.
He should have.
And he had Eric there, right? Oh my God. What a pass. What a pass.
Do you know what? I'll be honest. I didn't know he had that kind of pass in him, you know. I really didn't.
He's got them all, mate. He's got all the clubs. Any
He's
club you
got all
want,
of it.
any club you want, he's got it. I'm telling you. I've watched this guy a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
We are just starting to see a little bit of what he's capable of, Curtis. Curtis, we've said it all along. He needs a partner in there. And Granit Xhaka is okay, but you know, we talked about Basuma, we talk about Lokonga probably coming through. If the moment he gets a partner, you watch him. Tell you. Incredible.
He was unbelievable. I agree with you.
I
still think we need a midfielder. You know, even though I thought Xhaka played well, especially if he's injured for a while, you know, we're short on numbers in there. But yeah, I'll give him a 9. I thought he was unbelievable yesterday. One of his best performances for Arsenal.
I think so. I definitely think so. Yeah.
Let's go into the attacking three behind the striker. I'll start with Odegaard because you know what? It was one of them performances where you look at it and sometimes you're watching it and you're thinking, all right, he's doing all right. But when you watch it back after, you think, actually, he set everything off.
He was influential, Curtis. And it's easy to miss.
It is.
But you're right. When you re-watch the game,
yeah,
he is so important to knitting together what we do.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, because he's the prober, he's a creator, he's going to give the ball away a bit more sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's because he's a risk taker. That's what the risk takers have to do. They have to try things.
Yeah.
But you know what? I know he's good on the ball, but I thought his work rate, Curtis, was immense.
Surprised me, you know.
It was immense. He is a top quality player, and we nicked him for 30 mil. People were cussing us about, they've paid 30 mil for Odegaard. Listen, it's going to be, captain of Norway, it's going to prove to be a snip at the price. I like this kid. I think he's excellent. I'll give him an 8, Curtis. I really do.
Yeah.
8, I'll give Odegaard.
Big up the Green Gooner. He said, I've cleared the Arsenal shop out this morning, right down to the mugs and phone covers. If we keep winning, I'll have to remortgage the house. Listen, I told people here, earlier on in the season, I said, people, listen, I want Kroenke out. I ain't buying nothing. I woke up this morning, I was like, I might need a new Arsenal shirt, man. That done me yesterday. Oh, man.
It's wonderful, though, isn't it? It's wonderful to feel
feeling
like that, man.
It is, man. And big up Fran in the chat as well, because he's always banging the drum for Odegaard, saying how good he is. Said his pressing was unreal. Odegaard, he's the link for everything. 8.5. He was very, very. I think we might.
To be honest, 8.5. He did have a good game. I tell you. Anybody who hasn't watched it again, re-watch it with a smile on your face.
Honestly, Kev, you know, because I do the watch-alongs, right? I came away from the game, I'm thinking, Odegaard, 7 out of 10, he was tidy. But then when I watched the whole game back, and I watched it and I thought, every attack was going through him. He was starting all of it. And he was really good, really good.
Yeah.
The two wingers who, I mean, I don't even know which one to start with. Although Pete's apologising to you here, Kev. He said, apologies, Kev, for the other night on the squad. Top fella.
Pete,
don't know what he's done there.
I don't know what Pete is referring to because, you know, we banter each other on there. But Pete is all in the game and it's all for the love of our wonderful football club, the Arsenal. So don't worry about it. No need to apologise. And if you mess with me again, I'm going to brock your neck on the Irish club. But we're on Curtis TV, so we're all good. And yes, it's the players, mate. Well done.
Yeah, man, it's the players.
It's the players.
You pick, Kev. Which one do we start with? Because to me, they were just both incredible yesterday.
I'll tell you who I'm going to start with, Curtis. I'm going to start with Smith Rowe.
Okay.
Because actually, I didn't have him in my starting 11.
Same. I didn't.
Right? I didn't have him in my starting 11. And as far as I'm concerned, although there's a lot of pressure on these youngsters, we need them to be productive. We really do need them to be productive. Curtis, if they're not going to be scoring, they need to be creating goals.
100%.
That's the way we've got to look at these two boys now, because you know what? Yeah, they are young and they are gifted and they are talented, but if you're going to play in the team, you've got to be productive. And I've got to say, Smith Rowe, wow, absolutely wow. The way he ghosted in for that setup from Saka for the first, and then that play and run and cutback for Aubameyang for the second.
Wow.
Wow, incredible. And that alone takes the game away from Spurs. You know what I mean? Those actions, those moves take the game away. I agree with Levin. I give Smith Rowe a 9. I thought it was brilliant, and he probably could have got a 9.5 if he never came off. But yeah, I'll give him a 9. I thought he was excellent for 75 minutes.
Yeah, do you know what? And I've actually questioned him a little bit, despite him being young. Obviously, I'm in full support of him, but I've always said, like you said, he's got to affect the goal a little bit more for me in terms of the goals and assists. But yesterday, man, he was outstanding. And like you said, he set the tempo with that first goal.
Big time. Big time.
So, yeah, I mean, 9.5 for me. Incredible.
Well, listen, if you say 9.5, I can't complain about that, Curtis. He was excellent. And then we move on the other side to Bukayo Saka.
Oh, my God. Do you know what, Kev? Just before you get into his performance, right? Do you know what I love so much about his performance? Again, people have been questioning him. Yeah. Is he tired? Does he need a rest? You're playing against a Spanish international from Real Madrid, and you made this guy look like an absolute bum, like he's just come out of the youth team.
He murdered him. He murdered him. He murdered him. Reguilon's probably waking up in the night with visions of Saka. Sweat, cold sweat. Because the thing is with Saka, he's not afraid to go on the outside and use his wrong foot, like the Smith Rowe goal. Yeah. And then he's obviously he's a lot stronger when he comes inside on his left. He was giving him kittens. Reguilon didn't know what to do. And again, we've probably seen people are saying, you know, we've seen his best game so far in an England shirt. Well, I tell you what, that was a big game for us yesterday, and he turned up with an assist, and he turned up with a goal. That's all we want from these two. If these two could keep it up, we are in business, because you know that number 14 who we're going to get to next?
Oh, mate.
That means he will be hitting 20-odd goals this season. I can guarantee you. If these two or our wider players are more productive.
Just quickly, Kev, one thing there. A lot of people have been saying over the past few weeks that Saka is better on the right than the left. Moves him to the right, drops Pepe. Are we now in a situation where Saka's our best right winger if everyone's fit?
I think it depends, if I'm honest with you, Curtis.
Yeah.
I think it depends, and it depends sometimes who we're playing.
Yeah.
I think the Smith Rowe inclusion really works because he's an extra midfielder. He's not only a wide man, because when he comes inside, he can operate perfectly there because he's used to operating on the inside. Whereas maybe a Pepe or Saka on the left isn't used to operating really too much on the inside. So that works for us because when Smith Rowe goes inside, it leaves the channel there for Tierney to get up. Yeah. And I think that's where we're probably at our best attacking down that left-hand side when Tierney's coming on. But you know what? I think if these two keep up the great work, Saka gets a 9 as well from me. Yeah. How do you drop these two youngsters who are being so productive? You can't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all for saying, you know, we can't put too much on these youngsters. But now the youngsters have support, Curtis. They've got a goalkeeper and a back four who are solid. They've got two midfielders who could do the job. One in particular who is world class as far as I'm concerned. You got Odegaard who's the link man and creator. So they could just get on with doing their job. And you've got our striker up front who we're going to deal with next. I mean, that performance by Aubameyang.
Oh, mate, we're going to get to him, honestly.
Oh, my God. It was incredible.
Saka, for me, briefly, again, I'm looking 9.5 because the guy who he's playing against is actually a good left-back, I would say. And he just made him look like nothing yesterday. But, hey, Strikers Union. And I said to people yesterday, right, I said, everyone who has slandered this guy, I want the apology to be as loud as the criticism because he was outstanding yesterday. And Kev, you know, playing up front by yourself
On
is
your
not
own
easy.
can be a graveyard shift.
It can.
Can be a graveyard shift. If people don't get close to you, you get no service. Curtis, I didn't know Aubameyang was so good in the air.
Where's that come from?
It meant, but I think it meant so much to him, especially having missed last season's one at the Emirates as well. I think there was extra impetus. I think Aubameyang's starting to look around the team and he's thinking, hold on a minute, we got something here. Do you know what I mean? I look at the back, Gabriel, Ben White, Tommy Arsenal, Tierney, Ramsdale in goal. I look in midfield. There's the general and there's Xhaka and thinking, hold on. I look, there's some young legs around me. There's Odegaard there. Aubameyang's probably thinking, yeah, I'm ready. And he proved it. He chased, he ran, he had quality, he held the ball up when he could. That second goal where he spun it round the corner, got in the box and held out for the cutback from Smith Rowe and put it in the bottom corner. And then had the audacity to slide on his knees and do Thierry.
I was done, you know, Kev. I said, now I'm finished.
Incredible, mate. It was incredible. That's Arsenal. Curtis, that's Arsenal. That performance was Arsenal. From Aubameyang. That's the captain.
Look at that picture, man. This could be my green screen for the rest of the season. He did it in front of the Spurs fans. Half of them have left. And Thierry Henry sitting up there in the stand wearing an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah.
I said, nah, you couldn't have dreamt this Sunday.
True. With that result, incredible. Listen, and you know, again, I've got to go back to it again, Curtis. It's the players. It's the players. Because the reason why I say this, Curtis, is no one could question the attitude of the players yesterday.
Yeah.
No one could question the commitment of the players. Nobody could question the focus of the players. And nobody could question the result. How many times have we had all four things in place? Very rarely over the last 18 months. Some games we've been all right for spells, but most of this game we were quality. Defensively, mentally, attitude-wise. And that's why I say the 12th man connected with that team, as far as I'm concerned yesterday. And the more they can play like that, the more the Gooners will take this team to their heart.
Do you know what? I think the fans deserve a lot of credit because how difficult times have got for a club of our size as well. I think the manager and Edu and all them, I think they've had a lot of patience from the fans. They've really supported them since they've been back in the stadium as well.
Curtis, the key to everything is the fans know things are moving in the club. But the bottom line is results, Curtis.
Yeah.
It's a results business. So if you can start changing things and get some results, the fans will be with you. Now, the way we started after 3 games, Curtis, you tell me a fan base, any fan base that isn't going to go crazy, let alone the Arsenal. 3 games, 3 defeats, no goals. This meltdown time.
Of course it is.
But as Edu said in his chat, and Mikel Arteta said, now I've got the players that I want. Let's see from here. And remember, we talked about the next 3 games is probably make or break for Mikel Arteta, which was Norwich, Burnley, and Spurs.
Yeah.
Obviously, you chuck Wimbledon in there, and we've won all 4. Now the key is, Curtis, can we put it behind us and go to Brighton and get that result into the international break? We can do that. We are definitely moving in the right direction.
Yeah, man. Over 2,100 of you in the chat. Let's get to 1,000 likes, people. Smash that
minimum.
like.
Hey, hold on. Minimum. Derby win. We need 1,200 likes, people. Come on.
Listen to the man.
1,200 minimum.
Minimum. Kev, what we giving the manager yesterday? You know me, I've given him a hard time, but yesterday he deserves a lot, and I mean a lot of credit.
listen, I'm gonna give Mikel Arteta yesterday a 9 because it was fall on your sword. It's either you survive or you're gonna fall on your sword. The Xhaka move, dropping Pepe for Smith Rowe, that could have turned out terribly for him.
It could.
It really could have. So he made some big decisions and tough decisions, and it worked out for him. So, fair play. I said that, previously that these players, could get him the tic-tac, could get him the sack. But he's made the moves. He's brought Tommy Arsu in. He's got players back. And let's be honest, Curtis, we know we're not where we want to be.
Yeah.
But the fact is we're on the road and we're showing traits and attitude of an Arsenal team. That's what we need. So I'll give him a 9. He deserves a 9. And bigger tests to come, but credit where credit's due.
100%. Just with the game, a few people saying 9 because they felt the substitutions were a bit late. I'm sitting there at half-time 3-0, and I can't help it. We're attack-minded players. I'm thinking, go and give them man 5 or 6. Do you know what I mean? They look like a wounded animal that were... But I get it. We kind of withdrew ourselves a little bit. Let's just make sure we get the win. Was part of you thinking, go and punish these man second half and keep going?
Yeah, well, 100%. We want 4, we want 5. You know what I mean? It's one of them. That's our mentality. But what I noticed in the second half was the team didn't back off. They were going on the front foot. But what Spurs had done, Spurs weren't taking the risk that they were in the first half. They had banked up a little bit more to make sure they don't concede again.
Yeah.
They were making sure. So in the end, after you think, all right, we're 3-0 up. All right, we can retreat now. And that's what happened. And then they got a little foothold in the game, which is going to happen. So I thought we managed the game second half pretty well. And as I said, with Ramsdale's save, can you imagine that goes to 3-2? Then maybe it's a little bit of panic, but great save. Tommy Arsu cleared it up. The guys were doing their job. Listen, if we would have won 5 or 6, nobody could have moaned.
No.
Nobody could have moaned because we just blew them away, Curtis.
Yeah, they couldn't live with us, man. Who are we giving? I know we've given the numbers out, but who would you actually have said was man of the match? Because Sky gave it to Smith Rowe, Arsenal have given it to Tommy Asu.
Mm-hmm. I think you could give it to a number of players, to be honest. I thought, as I said, I thought Aubameyang worked tirelessly. He was awesome. Partey was awesome. Gabriel was immense at the back. And the 2 boy wonders, that's what they are. They're boy wonders. Saka, Smith Rowe. I'd like to give it to Aubameyang myself. Because for somebody like him, his captaincy's been questioned, his attitude has been questioned. People have even said, let's sell him, get him out of the club.
Yeah, they have.
To perform the way he did. And the goal he scored, Curtis, was not a typical Aubameyang goal.
It's not.
It wasn't. That is training ground. That's worked on the training ground, knock it round the corner, spin, get in the box, and then he held out, bang in the bottom corner, and the celebration. I'm going to give it to the captain because everyone played well, but I thought he was outstanding at top.
It was. And like I said, man, Davinson Sanchez and Dyer, even though I don't particularly rate them, but they are physical. It's not easy to play against them two by yourself. And like you said, the finish, when he finished it, I was actually surprised because on his left foot, back across goal, I'm like, what a finish that is.
Cut back,
Dangerous,
finish.
man.
Brilliant finish.
Yeah.
What do you give him, Curtis? What score?
Aubameyang, I'm giving him
he gets 9.5.
9.5.
9.5 for me, yeah. 9.5.
For me, if he takes down that Thomas Partey pass and maybe goes past Dyer and scores, I might be giving him a 10. I'm telling you.
He'll get the full hit, yeah.
He'd get all of it.
He would get the full hit. And Thomas Partey will get 9.5.
I'm telling you. Because I think Aubameyang's goal finished the game off. I think the second one knocked the stuffing out of him.
Big time.
But yeah, what a performance, man. It was a great performance. But I'm just going to quickly get into Arteta what he said after. I usually call this waffle settings because I'm usually having a go at him for his press conference, going, "Oh, what's he talking about now?" You know, he's talking about I can see the light and be patient, and we had to go through this pain. But I remember you used to say that to me, didn't you?
I
Say
said
it's
it.
got to get worse.
Yeah,
Before
I said it. There is pain. We have to go through pain. And there's going to be a little bit more pain to come, although we're on the right road. Because when you're on the right road, you've got to take your bumps. And that's how you learn. You've got to take your bumps and bruises. But we had to go through that to get the players in that we did. And don't forget, Curtis, the media ridiculed us.
Yeah.
They ridiculed us for making these signings. Do you know what? I don't see many people coming out and saying, I got it wrong. There ain't many people in the media coming out and saying, listen, Arsenal absolutely dismantled Spurs. They're saying that Spurs were bad.
They don't want to give us no credit, do they?
No credit. It's them against us as always, Curtis.
I tell you what, though, I enjoyed these celebrations. It's nice to see all of them like that.
Yeah. And do you know what? I remember his backroom staff were getting questioned as well.
Yeah,
Weren't they?
the man with the earpods.
Yeah, there's all sorts going on at the back. Who is he? He's got nobodies behind him and all that kind of thing. They're learning on the job. He's been in the job a little while now.
Yeah.
And he's learning, Curtis. He's learning. He is learning. So he's not the finished product 100%, but he is learning.
Like you said, now we're on the road. It feels like we've got something to believe in,
Yeah.
This was the picture. Mick Ross set his man every day on waffling, but today.
Look at this. Jeez. Oh, no. Oh, no.
The waffles are out, but do you know what? I let him off this time. He was talking some truth, but he was saying after the game, he said, on the win, he said, it's one of the nicest things I've experienced in this stadium. To win it the way we did and to feel that connection with the team and supporters made it really special. I mean, you've played in North London derbies and won them before. Do you feel like the fans do give you that extra push when you win a game?
I think any derby game, the fans are going to play a big part.
Yeah.
But when you win so convincingly, Curtis, and it's not something we see all the time. This is why it was so important for us to win that way in front of our home fans. The way the team went about the game, the attitude, like I said, the attitude of the team, the focus of the team, the performance of the team, it connected the fan base to the team straight away in the stadium. And then you score 3 goals in the first half and you see Spurs leaving. Oh, that's even more connection.
Yeah.
So, I could understand what he's saying about it's one of the nicest things he's experienced in the stadium. Yeah.
He said, on the fans, this is an Arsenal team that have won the game today and the manager saw a lot of things that it's very related. I'm proud of the way we played. I'm even more proud that we were able to give something back because they've really stuck behind the team.
100%. 100%. And you know what? It would be easy to dispel the fans. Easy to not include the fans. But the 12th man play a massive part. And I think if the team could put in a little bit more performances like that, the Emirates is going to be a fortress.
You obviously played for Arsenal at Highbury. Did you play at the Emirates as a player when you was at Everton, West Brom?
No. I didn't know.
Okay, because do you think there is a huge difference in the atmosphere between the two stadiums?
I think when the Emirates is bouncing, it's loud.
Yeah.
But I think Highbury, because of the close proximity to the pitch, everyone's kind of on top of the pitch, on top of the players. It feels a lot closer. Everything feels a lot more compact.
Yeah.
So the atmosphere is probably easier to generate. And that's our spiritual home as well, Curtis. Can't take nothing away from that. I think the memories have to be built in the Emirates now.
Yeah.
We've won FA Cups at the Emirates. The Emirates deserves titles.
Yes.
That's what it needs. It needs titles. And if the team could get there eventually, then the Emirates starts creating a legacy of its own. But I think the connection to the team and the fan is so important.
I think a lot of the time atmosphere comes from success, don't it? If you're winning trophies, you're going to have a better atmosphere, really.
Curtis, if you're winning football matches, the atmosphere is going to be great.
Yeah.
People look forward to going. People aren't afraid to go into their bank account and go and spend on Arsenal merchandise.
Yeah.
Because the feel-good factor. And we know nobody has a divine right to win because there's some fantastic teams out there, Curtis.
Yeah.
But you know what, Curtis? If you're in there challenging and you're fighting for it, the fans will back you. That's one thing about Arsenal that I can tell you from experience. If you're in there fighting, the fan base will back you 100%.
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course. He said on the players, it's a good example of the senior players showing big leadership and standing up for the team, like Aubameyang scoring, and then the academy players. They've been raised and developed within our system. They've come here in a big derby and worked for the team. It's funny, because I looked yesterday, we only had 3 players in our team over the age of 25 yesterday, Xhaka, Partey and Aubameyang. Mm-hmm. And all 3 of them really played well yesterday, especially Partey and Aubameyang.
Well, this is the key. Our experience. How many times have we been able to rely on our experience, Curtis? We haven't.
Yeah.
Look at last season. Last season, our experienced players didn't quite do it. They weren't there. We were poor first half of the season. We improved a bit second half, but it just wasn't good enough. Now we're on game 6, 9 points. And somebody said we're, 4 points off the top 4.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not trying to say we are there, but we're in a better position. Now we know Brighton's next. We could go and scheme and get ready for them. The attitude of the team has to be right, and you need your big players performing. And the big players performed yesterday, and it helps. It makes a massive difference.
He said the young players are able to trust me to get that feeling because they've been raised and educated, experiencing those feelings. A lot of people that we have in our organisation have a real sense of what the derby means. I think they will be proud of what they've seen. Did you see Stuart on the pitch, the photographer? Was he there when you was there?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. There's a few of the photographers that were there when I was there. Still going strong.
Yeah.
But listen, these guys have been around for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. He said on Aubameyang's influence, said, I'm really happy with the performance and against Burnley with what Aubameyang is doing. He was getting criticised and we were asking him to do more. He stood by it and put his head down and he's working tremendously hard for the team. And now I can tell you that he is really giving. I mean, that's interesting there. So he's saying that he wanted more from him. So were we not getting the full Aubameyang? Was he going through the motions a little bit?
Well, maybe not going through the motions, but I think sometimes when we've talked about that graveyard shift at the top end of the pitch.
Yeah.
Whereas he's been playing on the left, Curtis, and then he goes back to playing as a number 9, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your game is different. There's so much more needed of you. And maybe it took him a little bit of time because remember, he hasn't really played down the middle 10 games straight. He hasn't.
No, not for a while.
So it's to maybe get himself back into that rhythm of playing down the middle. But when you play down the middle, you need a supporting cast. And he seems to be having that now, seems to have a better supporting cast. And Aubameyang, listen, he turned up. He turned up yesterday and he performed. And we need that every week. We need that every week.
Has he got to be targeting 20 goals this season, really, in the league?
Without a shadow of a doubt. If Aubameyang gets 20 goals, we have a chance for top 4. We really do. We have a chance for top 4.
Clip it, people. Goals. Clip it. Clip that Ross.
No, we do. We have a chance. Because at the end of the day, you look at what we missed last season. It was the goals that we lacked.
Yeah.
We missed the goals. You've got a defence who could keep people out. You've got to be able to put the ball in at the other end. Give me a few 1-0s, Curtis. I'll have a few 1-0s now if you don't mind. 1-0 to the Arsenal and we move on. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Just keep ticking over.
Yeah, but listen, I don't mind how we win as long as we win. That's all we want, innit, Kev?
Exactly.
He said, on how fickle football can be, he said, that's the beauty of the game and the danger that things change so quickly at both ends. You have to be alert and seek improvement. A lot can change. I mean, look, like you said, a few weeks ago, Spurs were top, we were bottom.
This is football, and this is how crazy football is, Curtis. It's a game we love, and it's a game we know bad things can happen. And
Yeah.
our start to the season after 3 games, bad things were happening. It was terrible. But look now. I mean, we've seen it's not the first team we've seen to struggle at the start and to start picking up a bit. Now we need more. Again, it's that consistency we need. We need that consistency, Curtis. Whereas we played Spurs, big game, we won. Great. Move on to Brighton. Can we see them off? Away. Can we do the business? Go there, do the business, and then international break. Can we keep having the same attitude and same mentality week after week after week moving forward? That's the key.
That's it, innit? Like we were saying before, this Brighton game, it almost feels like it's a bigger question mark than the Tottenham game, because it's like, can they motivate themselves for that? Can they go away from home without the fans? Brighton could be top of the league if they win tonight. True. It's a very big test. And then you've got to sit on it for 2 weeks in the international break. So you want that good feeling for those 2 weeks as well.
100%. And again, there's a lot of these tests that the team are going to have to pass.
Yeah.
The team are going to have to pass, because all of a sudden it was these 3 games are the biggest test. Now we've passed that test. Okay. Yesterday counts for nothing if we don't go and get a result at Brighton. So we've got to go through that test. And then obviously there's the test of the international. Then we come back and then we play Palace. So there's a lot of dominoes to go down. There's a lot of gates to go through and exams to pass. But if we, again, the focus, the attitude, it's the players. If they could keep the same attitude and the right stuff, we got it, Curtis. We can get through these.
Cy Tyson here said, Kev, do you stick with the same team for next week then?
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I think Granit Xhaka won't be in there. So obviously that might be a change. And
oh, yeah, he'll be injured, yeah.
You know, does Lokonga come in, or does he then revert to a position where Partey sits as the only holding midfield player, and then you could go 4 behind Aubameyang and Aubameyang? You know, you might be able to do something like that. So we're going to see. We're going to see. But on the manager's head, be it, remember, he's the one who has to... What he's up against next week is probably Brighton play 3 at the back. So we might change it. He wouldn't be the first person to change it against them. Yeah. So he could change the system a little bit. But again, now we seem to have a competition for places, Curtis.
It's nice to see, innit, for once.
Because if you're Pepe, all of a sudden I got dropped, and look what happened. Look what happened when I got dropped.
Doesn't look good.
You give me the shirt next time, I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to be consistent, or else I'm out.
What's your thoughts on Pepe? Like, he divides opinion massively. A lot of people saying he lacks that aggression. You know, even yesterday, Saka and Smith Rowe were aggressive. They got at their fullbacks. When I watch Pepe a lot of the time, I think you've got so much talent, but it's almost like he plays within himself a little bit. What do you make of Pepe at Arsenal?
I think Pepe has had to try and work on his identity. The identity he had when he was in France, he came over. It's a when I have the ball, I play. When I don't have the ball, that's fine. In England, can't carry people. You can't do that. And we've seen him do that. We've seen him work back. We've seen him do pretty well at times. But our biggest problem, Curtis, has always been consistency. The consistency of the performance. We want Pepe to be devastating going forward, 100%. But when we don't get that, he still has to muck in.
Yeah.
You know, you still have to muck in and put your foot in and chase your fullback sometimes all the way. Smith Rowe and Saka are happy to do that. They're happy to work like that for the team.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, Pepe's going to have to do that, because if he doesn't, then he's not going to play.
I think as well, Kev, is it, from a fan's point of view, is it positive? Because I looked at that bench yesterday. I thought that's one of the best Arsenal benches I've seen in a long time.
For years. Again, competition for places.
Yeah.
You know, competition for places. And you want the players on the bench to be pissed off. You want them to be pissed off because they wanted to play.
Yeah.
So when they get the opportunity, they're playing with an attitude. And it's that attitude that we need, Curtis. That's what we need. We need that attitude. I'm going to show the manager. Let me get out there and let me show him what I can do. That's the attitude we need. Because the more of players like that you have on the pitch, now we're going somewhere.
Was you ever left out of a North London derby?
I think I was, yeah. I think I was. I was left out of a North London derby early in my career. But again, once you get into the North London derby, once you start, that's it. I play anywhere for Arsenal. And to get the win, I've had my worst memory as an Arsenal player, as a footballer, losing that semi-final to Spurs. And as well as, on the day, the revenge mission where Tony Adams got the goal.
Yeah.
That was one of the sweetest.
Zeke says here, Kev, what's your best North London derby goal?
It was probably the one at Highbury. Where Ian Wright scored the first, North Bank end.
Yeah.
And I got the second from a sweet ball by Anders Limpar. Picked me out and I took it and put it in the bottom corner. And I had to lick two shot, you know what I mean, Curtis? Lick two shot.
Yo,
I had to
I'm
lick
telling
some
you,
shot for that, boss. Trust me.
a lot of the younger audience in here, they probably don't realise Kev's just casually talking about just bagging in the North Bank at Highbury, Rob. It's legendary, man.
Listen, it was, and again, those games were always fiercely fought, Curtis, as you well know. Fiercely fought. But the key is to win, isn't it? That's the key, is to win. Once you win, nothing else matters.
What was George Graham like in the dressing room and that? Like, could you act, because he seemed quite a serious guy on TV, but was he a fun guy when you won games? Would he celebrate and that?
Curtis, I'll tell you what George Graham was like. In 2 sentences, right? On one side, you would think you've played poorly, you win the game 1-0, like a Burnley.
Yeah.
He'd come in and he'd say, great, absolutely brilliant, lads. Fantastic performance. Why? Because you dug in, you fought, you didn't give them a chance to put the ball in your net. You got the clean sheet, which is what he loves.
Yeah.
And you worked away to win the game. He loved it. I remember we played Sheffield United at home. We beat them 5-2. We came in after the game. We played really well. He came in and he was throwing cups.
Going mad.
He was kicking skips. He was smashing the place up. He was a stickler for detail. And he loved clean sheets, Curtis. He didn't want us to take our foot off the gas. He wanted us to beat them 7.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? He said, listen, guys, that ain't good enough. You can imagine we've just scored 5. Not good enough. It felt like we'd lost. But there's a bit of psychology in there as well, Curtis. Do you know what I mean? Bit of psychology. Don't rest on your laurels because I need you hungrier.
That's mad. That reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Is he? Well, I don't know if you'd like to name the best, but was he one of your favourite managers? Was he your best manager?
He was the best manager for me.
Was he?
And I could tell you why he was the best manager. Because, George Graham took all the training.
Did he?
And I trained with him from very early because I was one of the players who would go and be put in against the back 5.
Yeah. in training.
So you hear what he's saying. I was learning, and this is the thing. He's teaching me how to play against them.
Yeah.
At the same time, he's teaching the back five
How to defend.
how to defend properly, how he wants them to do it, and what he wants them to do. That's so for me, and look what that done for me. That made me a much better player in the youth team. That made me a much better player in the reserves. That made me ready for when I went on loan. You know, I went on loan twice. I went to Leyton Orient in the old 4th Division, Cloggers League, and I went to Leicester, who were in equivalent to the Championship. It made me ready for that. So George Graham, the amount of youngsters he had, who he brought through as well, amazing man.
I'm just thinking, like, for you as a young striker, Monday to Friday, you're training against Adams and them man there. On a Saturday, you're probably not going to experience much harder than that, are you?
Well, I've got all the scars to prove it from training, Curtis. Curtis, you know, because George Graham always said, I want you to train the way you play.
So proper.
So the tackle, that's when you could tackle from behind.
Yeah.
I was getting lumped up in training. But it made me a better player because I would be just as physical with them, even though I'm a youngster. So that's what George Graham loved. He loved a tough training session, and everybody, he will ask you questions about it, etc., etc. That's all part of your development. So at the time, Curtis, you don't even realize how much you're improving. But when you get to, I get him to the youth team on a Saturday.
Like
Where's that Nandos chicken you got seasoned, boss? Give me that chicken. It's easy work. It's easy work.
That's mad. That is crazy, man. Hey, big up Anthony with a super chat. He said, I was sat in the North Bank for so many of your games, Kev. First started going to Highbury in 88 and a season ticket. Loved you and Smudger Smith. Those Graham days were something else.
Very
Big
true,
up
Anthony.
with that.
Very true. You know, when me and Smudger played, when George Graham was holding me back. And then he said, right, you ready? You're starting. He said, I'm going to move Merce to the left because it was Merson and Smith.
Yeah.
I'm going to move Merce to the left and you're going to play. That's all I needed. I was starving, Curtis. I was hungry to play. So to get in the team, get in that team and to kick on, and then he brought David Hillier, who's my guy.
Yeah.
You know, me and him come through the ranks together. And then we'll go on and win the title in that team. Well, it's amazing. Amazing days, amazing times. And, wow, what a squad. That's all I would say. What a squad of players who love being at the club and love playing for the club. And I get a little feeling these players are starting to get that, playing for Arsenal now.
Well, just quickly about you. What was the partnership like with you and Wrighty? Because did you and Wrighty know each other before you played together? Because you looked like you were just the connection was there.
We knew each other because remember, Wright was at Palace.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, and obviously we're playing. We used to give them the work always. We always used to give Palace the work. Okay. Wrighty could never score against us, and obviously the Rocky and Wrighty connection. We used to see each other out, and we always used to say to Wrighty after games, "What you do? You need to come over to. You need to come." He said, "I love Arsenal, but I can't. I'm a Palace man." I said, "Shut up, Wrighty. You need to. You're wasting your time over there." Do you know? We just used to wind him up.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, Wrighty ends up coming to the club. Everybody was like ecstatic, fantastic. He's another guy who can help us get to where we want to get to, Curtis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Phenomenal striker, great finisher. I find myself out the team. Him and Smudger are playing. I'm the young one, which happens. But what do? You play your position. I get on the training pitch. You get working. But the whole squad loved Wrighty, loved him coming to the club, loved him as a person. Me and him roomed together. Honestly, he's so funny and mad at the same time, man. Brilliant, you know.
Yeah.
So you try and look after him. He says, no, I'll look after you. And he'll ring down for room service. He loves his hot chocolate and stuff. You know what I mean? He's right. He was quality guy, and an absolute deadly goal scorer, as everybody knows. But he celebrated goals in training as well.
Did he?
Five-a-side. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. He just loves scoring goals.
That was such a great partnership. For me growing up, seeing you and him up front was just like, wow, like, and the celebrations and but you know what I mean?
That's
Brixton
it.
boy Kevin Campbell. I'm like, nah, man, this is amazing.
East Brockley, I'm Brixton, south of the river, you know, both Arsenal fans, and we end up playing at the top end of the pitch. And to be fair, that's what kind of connected the black community to Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely.
There was a connection before, obviously with Rocky, Wrighty, Paul Davis, all these guys, myself. But when Wrighty joined, because Wrighty was, you know, he's got the gold tee, and that Palace team was like street boys. Andy Gray, you know what I mean? Brighty, John Solarco, all these guys, Richard Shaw, all the boys. When he came, that done it. It just connected for all parts of the world. And you found that the letters you were getting from different parts of the world as well when Wrighty came. Just, you know, the focus was on Arsenal as a team with that many black players. So it was brilliant.
Yeah, it was great to see, man. And like you said, just moving ahead to this now, like yesterday, that was a similar, not quite the same, but a similar feeling that I was getting, that I feel like we've had too many players at Arsenal where it's almost like they're doing us a favour playing for us. And I'm like, yo, this is Arsenal. But when I see Ramsdale punching chest and Tommy Hawks, I was like punching the table like, yes, we're back. You know what I mean?
Curtis, you feel it. And shouldn't it make you question what's gone on before?
Yeah.
Because if these players can come in and they're giving it that, and you can feel it, you could feel the energy. What was we eating before? We were eating some rubbish before.
Some cheeseburgers.
Yeah, we were eating rubbish before, and that's why I always say, Curtis. And sometimes, you know, people call me deluded and stuff. It's the players. It's always the players. The manager can only do so much. The players have to go out there and do the business.
I mean, like Robbie's World saying here, we do have to build on it, though, don't we? It'd be horrible if we're sitting here Saturday evening and, the Tottenham game, we've lost to Brighton. They have to build on this result, don't they, Kev?
100%. But this is our Achilles heel, Curtis. Our Achilles heel is always, we have a good result, and then the next game, you don't see the same passion, you don't see the same attitude, you don't see the same fire, and you don't see the same desire.
Yeah.
This is our problem. And, you know, not being in Europe, we're hoping it can work for us. Well,
yeah,
we have time to recover, to plan, and to go out there and to rest and recuperate and go out there and beat Brighton. This is what we got to see. There's no excuses anymore.
I mean, just quickly before we start rounding up, I'm just looking at the fixtures here. Obviously, we play Brighton. And then there's another international break actually after. So we've got 4 games after the break. Palace at home, Villa at home, Leicester away, and Watford at home after the international break before the next one. I mean, having 3 home games there as well. I think we've got to be getting at least 3 wins out of 4 there, haven't we, in them next 4?
Curtis, that's the name of the game. The name of the game is the W's. And if you look at all those games, they're winnable games for us. They're all winnable games. So, again, what is going to be needed? The right attitude, the right application, the right focus, and the right performance. If the players give the right attitude and the right performance, but we come up short, I know Arsenal fans would say, we lost, but we give it a good goal.
Yeah.
But those are winnable games for us, Curtis. And I know it's not good to look too far ahead, but we can win those games. But one game at a time. Let's get Brighton. Let's take that. And then we get into the international break. And then how we come back after the international break as well. That's another big test.
Yeah, totally agree, man. Do you know what? It's been a pleasure to do a show with you, Kev, today where we're just talking about the good times. We won a game. I think every Arsenal fan just feels great today. I woke up, you know, when you wake up in the morning and you have to gather yourself for 10 seconds, like, what day is it? What happened? Was it a dream? I woke up, I was like, We beat Spurs 3-1. Like, that second goal for me is the best goal I've seen in the Premier League this season, you know, as an Arsenal fan. From
move,
Ramsdale.
everything. Yeah. The move, everything was brilliant. But you know what, Curtis? Like I say, we deserve it.
Yeah.
We've been looking to this team to perform to a level that we say, right, now we're getting somewhere. Anybody who wasn't sure could see that performance yesterday and said, if we could perform like that, we'll win more games than ever. If we perform like that, we will take teams out. What do you think
the target's got to be for Arsenal this season? Like the minimum.
The target has to be top 6. But we want top 4. That's what we want. We want top 4. And you know what? We've seen at the weekend, everybody can beat everybody in the Premier League. We've seen the big teams could beat each other. Teams could drop points here and there. Villa going to Manchester United, so they're no pushover. This is the Premier League. Everybody's strong now. The key is our attitude right? Is our focus right? Is our performance right? And if we got those 3 things right, then comes the 4th, which is the result.
Yeah. That's it, man. Like you're saying there, I think top 6 and a cup challenge, League Cup, FA Cup. But if that top 4 could happen, they got to go for it. Because, listen, as crazy as it is, and I keep saying our top 4 might be a bit too much, but we finished 6 points outside of top 4 last year, and we stunk out the place last year.
Look at how we were at home, especially, Curtis.
Yeah.
We were awful at home last season. So, and I know every season's different, but when you balance it out, the top 4 is not out of our capability. I'm telling you. Because once you've got a goalkeeper and a defense that can keep other teams out, you have a massive chance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Kev, listen, absolute pleasure to have you on. Big up to everyone in the comments. We've got over 2,100. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like. Check out Kev on the Highbury squad. Are you on tonight?
No, I'm going to watch my son play his 3rd comeback game tonight.
Oh, yeah. He scored the other day, didn't he?
Scored the other day, yeah. He's got his 3rd comeback game tonight. So I'll be getting myself ready and be going in a bit. So that kicks off at 7 o'clock. That's at Stokes training ground. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to be.
Yeah, big up to your
son.
son.
I've done a video, Curtis.
On your channel?
I've done a video for Sophie to play to all the Gooners later on at 8 o'clock.
All right, so I'll keep my eye on that, man. But listen, big up to Kev for coming on. And like I say, man, Gooners, you gotta soak it up, ain't you? I don't think I'll stop talking about this game all week, to be honest, until we play Brighton.
You're damn right. Curtis, you know what? Enjoy it. We get a week to enjoy beating that lot. Enjoy it.
Yeah, they've gone very quiet all of a sudden as well.
Funny, isn't it? Funny. I used to get loads of memes a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I've got nothing. Absolutely nothing back. I love it.
It's amazing. Big up to you, Kev. Legend. Love them stories as well, man. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Nice one, Kurt. It's a pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Take good care and enjoy your week.
Enjoy it.
With a big smile.
Go season up that chicken, yes? Big up to everyone.